Welcome to Book Juice, where stories aren't just escapes. They're invitations to remember who we were before the world got loud. Let me ask you something. Have you ever returned to a place from childhood and felt like something sacred was still waiting for you there? Not a memory, but a feeling. Something soft, mysterious, maybe even magical. That's what the ocean at the end of the lane feels like. It doesn't read like a novel. It feels like remembering. A memory so strange and tender, it could only be told through myth. It begins quietly. A man returns home for a funeral, but he doesn't find comfort in the familiar. He finds himself drawn to the edge of a pond behind an old farmhouse, a pond a girl once called an ocean. And suddenly, he's not a man anymore. He's a boy again, 7 years old, small, fragile, a little afraid, but also open to a world adults can't see. And what unfolds from there isn't a fantasy story. It's a confrontation with the monsters we never named, the griefs we buried, the moments that shaped us before we had language for them. There's a lodger, there's a death, there's a rip in reality. And out of that tear steps something terrifying. Not because it looks like a monster, but because it feels like something we've all brushed up against. That's when we meet Letty Hempstock, the girl with ancient eyes and a quiet confidence, who says the pond is an ocean, and who sees things for what they are, not what adults pretend them to be. And suddenly you start wondering, what if children don't just imagine more? What if they know more? What if their questions were closer to truth than the answers we were taught to accept? Because this book isn't about escaping into magic. It's about magic being the only way to tell the truth. The truth about fear, the truth about loss, the truth about how helpless it can feel to be small in a world that doesn't explain itself. And Gaiman doesn't hit you with loud pain. He whispers it, like a half-forgotten bedtime story that used to make you cry, but you never told anyone why. But he also reminds you, gently, always gently, that the magic never really left. It just slipped beneath the surface, waiting for you to remember. Because that pond, that's not just a body of water. That's your memory. That's your grief. That's your wonder, untouched by time. And the Hempstock women, they're more than characters. They're the guardians of childhood, the ones who never forgot how to protect wonder, the ones who knew that sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is believe a child. Juice drop. I lived in books more than I lived anywhere else. And maybe that's not a flaw. Maybe that's where the healing lives, in the places that held you when nothing else did. Let's say it out loud, because it matters. So here's your reflection. What part of you did you leave behind when you grew up? And what would it look like to go back, not to fix it, but to honor it? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk about quiet hauntings, secret oceans, and the beauty of remembering. Because this is what Book Juice is for, to remind you that even the softest stories can stir the deepest truths. So take a breath, let the water rise, and return to the end of the lane. This is Book Juice, short reflections, long ripples.